Thanks for inviting me to be here to share some experience about the multifunctional occluder. First one is the MFO. The name is a corner. I think due to Dr. Rao, he wants to put the name corner MFO. And you see the configuration of the device looks soft and the profile is low because the material is not too much and not too much the membrane inside. And you see the ways, two ways, the ways in the left side and the right side. And you can see the left side is a little bit stiffer compared with the ways in the right side, more flexible. And the MFO also created by the nitinol wire mesh layers. And the problem is the new design is the double disc, but different from the ideal two. The high pressure and low pressure. In the left side, I think the left side or somewhere is one is the high pressure and second one is low pressure. And so depending on the defect we want to close, we can put the high pressure disc in the high pressure chambers or vessel and the low pressure in the other side. And one advantage is the double hub. I think we can do the retrograde and anti-grade also. And the screw also the same, the old one, the screwer mechanism, not the forceps mechanism for the delivery cable. And also the one advantage I think is the delivery system. The profile is very small compared with others. We can use even the 4 or 5 branch delivery system or the guiding catheter, or we can use the Merlin switch also. And you see the configuration of the device. Depending on the D2 is the most important. D2, maybe you can see the D2 is it means the part of the device in the left side. And depending on the D2, they have a D3 is in the right side, and this in the both sides the same size. And D2 it means the left side they have from the 5 to 14. Means you can close the defect until the 12. And the disc just +4 or 4 from the disc is D2 and +4, and you can see depending on the disc D2 you have the disc in the left side. And the diameter in the right side may be just a 2 millimeter compared with D2, and the waist waist length about 4, but adjustable waist length, and you can see the waist the length of the waist can be adjustable. And you can see the device when we extend this, the disc in the right side may be extended, and you see the length of the waist may be extended, and so the waist of the device also can adjustable. And what indication I'm using is for BSD closer. We can use for very membranous, muscular, and some symbiotic or some outlet BSD also. We prefer to use a fistula, coronary or pulmonary fistula, because the device is softer, more flexible, and with a small profile, you can go anywhere. And for PDA also, the design is similar to Ideal 1 and the PDA. Another indication is a MAPCA or some. Compared with Ideal 2, you can see the Ideal 2 is 2 discs, and so the 2 discs is similar. Not a high pressure, it's a low pressure disc. But for the MFO, the disc in the left side is a high pressure disc, and so it's maybe the residual is less than the Ideal 2. Turn to some cases. You see there is the typical BSD, very membranous with aneurysm. And you can see it's the typical VSD, and so we can use MFO. We see the sheath 4 or 5 frame or 6 frame, and we can you see how is the MFO can be sit there. And problem I want to show you the disc in the right side. So it looks more flexible, and so we can adjust it. You can put it close to the septum, and we can prevent the tracker switch valve and tangling. And also the disc in the left side is stiff enough for make the device become more stable. And here you can see the angulation between the waist, the body, and the second disc, the disc in the right side. You see the angulation there, and the device can be changed, the shape configuration accordingly to the defect. And there, Dr. Warakan, he did this guy from Warakan. He did the case. It's a very small baby, 6 kilograms, and you see the defect a little bit large. And this case, when we do angiography, you see the defect VSD is very large. For 8 months and 6 kilograms, you see the VSD is very large. And we measure about the 5.8 millimeter, about 6 mm for the 6 kilogram baby. It's not really the routine case, it's just a selected case, it's a special case we did. And you see the device, what the device is. You see the device looks not so bad due to the cable, also the screw or cable and the device a little bit change. But after release, you see the device looks very beautiful. And on echo, almost the device looks very good, almost no residual, no complication. It looks very beautiful. The case ID is also the same, very small baby, 5 kilograms, and the very large VSD. And the device, you see, the device looks very beautiful without any complication. And this, the problem is the subaortic or some outlet VSD. You see the device should very close to the aorta. The problem is how to avoid the damage of the aortic valve. And you see the device looks more flexible and sits underneath the valve and separate, and maybe we can avoid the aortic damage. Here the case is a hypertrophy of the RVOT due to the shunt, the VSD shunt. We measured pressure there, but after put the device, see follow up the RVOT hypertrophy and pressure gradient through the RVOT less after several months. The second indication is a coronary artery fistula. You see, this is a case of a not so complicated case, but a tortuous coronary fistula. You can see from the left main to go to the right atrium, but it's very tortuous and dilated. You can see on angio, you see it's very tortuous and dilated. Yeah. And how does the MFO sit? You can see the device sits very beautiful and just very small profile. We can close the defects very beautiful there. And for small baby, is one advantage of the fistula for small baby, because the device flexible and the small profile. We can go with other very small. As you see, it looks beautiful. It's a complicated coronary fistula. You see the fistula tortuous and multiple opening exist, and I put the idea. You see the IVP2, the device extended, but you see there are some residual and also the two multiple opening exist, and I put the MFO. You see the MFO can close the axis bond, and other the disc in the right side can cover totally the multiple axis. And so for my conclusion, I mentioned some advantage of the MFO. It's a multi-purpose, and so we can use in the many indications. The usage is very friendly. I think we can go with anti-grade and retrograde approach, and the device looks soft, and maybe it can change its comfort to a specific morphology. We need some data. Thank you very much.